First, we'll build on our progress at the border with additional resources for our law enforcement personnel so that they can stem the flow of illegal crossings and speed the return of those who do cross over. Second, I'll make it easier and faster for high-skilled immigrants, graduates, and entrepreneurs to stay and contribute to our economy, as so many business leaders have proposed. Third, we'll take steps to deal responsibly with the millions of undocumented immigrants who already live in our country.
All right, folks, with more reaction to all of this is founder and president of the Vernon K. Krieble Foundation, noted leader in the national debate on illegal immigration, and the author of Two Paths to Safety, a private sector initiative to break the illegal immigration deadlock. We welcome in Helen Krieble. Hi, Helen.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm okay. So I would imagine, based on what you support, which is a red card guest worker permit, which we'll talk about in a second, you're not too happy with what the president had to say yesterday.
I don't think it was a real fix. And I have to say, if I were an immigrant and I had to self-identify myself as a criminal and count on the current administration to not enforce the laws that are on the books, I would be very leery of doing that.
So you think that a lot of people who were involved in the executive order, or will be once it's signed, and who are the people who it addresses, will think like you're thinking, wait a minute, this could be overturned. What happens once I expose myself? Why should I come out now? Let me stay in the so-called shadows.
I think that's true, and it's really what's happened to an awful lot of the people who were dreamers. They were leery of exposing their employers, which they had to do, to their parents who weren't included, and so on. So what we need is a real guest worker program.
All right, talk a little bit about the red card guest worker program that you support, which basically lets private employment firms get involved and organize this whole thing.
It does, and it's also market-driven. What we say is that we need a uniform, fair plan, not quotas, something that is based on the number of guest workers that we actually need. And that would be a fair way of doing it. So that's our first piece. The second piece is, of course, that if the private sector is able to administer this, that it would be efficient, it would be reasonable, it would be paid by user fees so that it doesn't cost taxpayers, it doesn't expand the government. And we think that that is a reasonable way to do it, as long as there are no green cards or citizenship attached to the work permit.
But it would also allow those people, in other words, these people would still have to come out of the shadows, so to speak. I hate that expression, but I keep using it, to register, to get in that database, to know that, make it known that they're available. Wouldn't they be just as leery, when it comes to doing that, as they would be coming out, the day after Obama signs his executive order?
Not if there are no quotas, so that they have to feel that they could be the one person over the quota. Not if there's when there's an endless bureaucracy, you feel you can't actually do it. So it has to be a simple, uniform program that is applied evenly. I mean, what we have right now is special groups for special deals for special groups. And it goes to, oh, we'll do something for agriculture people, we'll do something for dreamers, we'll do something for high tech. What we need is something that applies to everybody fairly. And that just simply isn't the case, and it isn't what Obama is suggesting.
And Helen, what's the reaction been from both parties to your red card solution?
Well, there's been a lot of very positive support. Everybody knows we need a guest worker program if we're going to have border security. We need an incentive for people to come through a gate who are looking for work, through a simple legal process to fill jobs that need to be filled here. And that would, in a Bracero program, which was the only really good guest worker program we ever had, people apprehended at the border went from 1 million people just before that program down to 35,000.
All right, Helen, thank you
back
very,
to $1 million.
very
If
much.
we had
Helen, I got to go. I'm out of
35,000.
time, but great talking to you. Thank you very much. Steve Malzberg Show. We are coming back with more on Newsmax Television. Don't go away.